the Bible. It's called the Bible. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Hey friends. So today, shoot Christians here, and I pray that God continue to bless you. Hey friend, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, welcome to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about something really close and dear to my heart. It's a tool that I use to be able to grow in my faith and trust in God, and to see how God has taken a whole year to work in my life, and to be able to give Him all the praise and all the glory. I'm talking about the jar of God, and it is literally a jar. And what you do is you start off the new year. I would encourage you to do it in the beginning of the year, so say the 1st of January. If you're only starting, say, in the middle of the year, that's perfectly fine, but I would encourage you to do it over 365 days, just to have a year to measure this. For me, it's always exciting to do it in the beginning of a new year, and then to be able, on like New Year's Eve, be able to go through the notes and see how God has worked in my life. So what this is you can take any jar. So this could be any jar that you might have laying around your house. I literally use coffee jars, so like you get your coffee in it, and what you do is you would fill it with like notes, and I just dropped a few. So my jar is like full to the rim with all these notes. Now these notes are really special because what they are is I would note down every time God did something in my life. So every time God provided financially, when I needed finances, even if it was a small amount or a big amount, God always meets our needs. And basically what this jar is a praise report to God. It is basically taking notes of all the prayers that God has answered in your life over that year. So every time it could be finances, it could be a prayer that He answered with regards to healing that was needed, a restoration of a broken relationship, a job opportunity, whatever it might be, whatever you prayed for, if it's self-confidence, if it's your health, losing weight, whatever it might be, you pray for it like you would, and when God answers that prayer, you would write that down and date it with the day that praise report comes in. And then I would encourage you to use small papers. So I use like these small notepad, like notes. So this jar, I filled it up completely. I mean, there's literally no space. I mean, it is like completely filled to the rim. Now I have a massive big piece of paper here in the middle, and what these are testimonies of an incredible thing that happened. Was I was able to share my testimony with our church, and I had to type it all out and say it for them to record it. And yeah, I added that in there. I have like a conference band. It's like an armband for an conference that I also have popped in there. I had a massive encounter with God at that conference, and yeah, so all those little things God related and helped you with your faith that year, you can pop it in the jar and then seal it, and it is incredible. So the reason why I started doing this was I wanted to measure how God was working in my life. And I think the reason why was because it was at a stage where I felt my prayers were just like hitting the ceiling, or I would pray things, but it would feel like God wasn't really working in my life, and then great things would happen, and then I'll celebrate it and I'll thank God for it and give him all the thanksgiving, and then I would forget about it. And then like months after, when I'm faced with another difficult situation or challenge in front of me, I would pray, but the prayer would be like, oh, help me, or like, it's out of more of a defeated plea to God and asking him for help, which is good to ask him for help all the time. But if you see how God's working in your life, your prayers, they literally carry so much power for us to pray. And I know God's word says that we need to pray without ceasing. So we need to always be in prayer and submitting our requests to God. And if it's his will and his timing, that he'll make it happen. And this was just a great way for me to be able to measure it. So I did this. This is my first job. I did this in the year of 2019. Started it on the 1st of January, and on that New Year's Eve, the end of that year, I went through this jar and I read it, and I can't begin to explain to you how it feels to be able to read it, because I wouldn't read it throughout the year. You would just pop it in here, and then at the end, like literally New Year's Eve, the best way to celebrate and end off the year by seeing visually what God has done in your life. It blows me away, and this completely blew me away. After that, the following year, I went back to journaling, because I usually journal my prayers, and I love doing that. I'm still going to continue doing it, but this year, for 2023, I'm going to do the Jar of God again. And now what I did is I actually painted jar. So this jar, it was used as a wedding as a decorative piece, and the bride said if you wanted it, you can take one home. And I was like, sure. So I took one. No idea what I would use it for, but it came in so handy, and I was so grateful for that. So this year I started gathering a few coffee jars, and thought I would paint them myself, and do it again for the year of 2023. So I'm going to start on the 1st of January 2023, and this is basically what my jar looks like. I am not an artist or a painter. I purely did it for fun, and I was like, my goal is a new hobby I want to start is I really want to get into painting, but not for any other reason but for myself and for enjoyment. So I'm not an artist, but I just painted, and I think that they came out quite cute. It's literally just like some little flowers and leaves, and I have quite a few, and then I spray painted the tops. So if they didn't have the glass tops, because obviously you get different coffee jars, I just spray painted them all gold, and I have quite a lot of them. It was really so much fun, and I really enjoyed getting artsy and having fun. And now what I did is I did print out a card explaining the Jar of God, and I'll be handing it out to a few friends and have them do it with me. I think that's going to be incredible. Or whoever wants one who'll be able to collect, they can come get it. But I would encourage you to make your own one. So just grab any old, even if it's like a tin or whatever you might have laying around the house. I wouldn't say go out and buy something. Just use what you have. Reuse. What's a reduce, reuse, recycle? Yeah, it's good. And it's so beautiful. And what I actually have done with this jar, it's actually, I can't talk. It is actually on my bookshelf. So throughout the year that I did this in 2019, it wouldn't be something you would forget about. At least for me. I don't know, I'm hoping no one would forget to fill this. But I never forgot to fill it. And I did think about it when I thought of starting. And I was like, by July, I'm probably going to forget about this jar completely. And I never did. I really was mindful about it. And I really did it. And there were so many times so great things happened. I was like, this is God. I can write this down when I get home and put this in my jar of God. Like, I was so excited. It was so much excitement. And every time I would walk past this jar, every time I would walk past this jar, it just served as encouragement and be like, in times when you feel like, God, are you actually working in my life? God, are you there? Are you here with me? Are you, do you even hear my prayers? Am I even relevant? Yes, you are. And yes, he answers prayers. And we just need to, I feel like we give him thanks, but then we forget about it. And this jar just stops it from happening. And that's why I love it. And it's just a great way. I love being able to start it on a new year and to go through it on New Year's Eve. Because, I mean, let's be honest. What do we do New Year's Eve? On New Year's Eve, it's all about partying and having fun. And there's nothing wrong with it within means. I'm not encouraging you to go crazy and drink and I mean, you can have a drink. That's fine. To me personally, I feel like that's okay, but don't go get drunk and stuff. But it's fun to celebrate the end of the year. It's fun to celebrate the new year coming in, but it's such a great way to reflect in a good way on what God has actually done, and not think of, oh, we're celebrating the year that we had and this and this and this happened or whatever, but to actually started off by focusing on, okay, I want to note down what God is doing in my life. And by the end of the year, taking it back to God, like, God, I want to see what you actually did in my life and read it. I promise you, it was so much fun. I had so much joy reading and like remembering, I remembered he came through in March when I needed 10,000 rand, or I remember how he came through in this job opportunity or in this relationship, or it's incredible. So yeah, no prayer is too small. So this is the new jar of God that I'm going to be giving away, and there is a few scriptures with it. So scriptures with regards to giving God thanks, and I'm sure we all know them, but I'll list them in the description box as well. But it's Deuteronomy chapter 10 verse 21, 1 Chronicles chapter 16 verse 34, Isaiah chapter 12 verse 4, Romans chapter 11 verse 36, Colossians chapter 3 verse 17, Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 18, and 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse 1 to 2. So yeah, it is really beautiful, and I am so excited. So I hope you're gonna do it with me. If you are, please let me know. You can send me an email or a direct message or comment, or however you want to reach out to me. That's perfectly fine. And yeah, I'd love to be a part of your journey and just to be able to do it with you. And by the end of 2023, you can go through it and just see what God has done. So that's it. I hope you have a beautiful end of your 2021. What are we? Oh my goodness. What? Oh, it's been a long year. I hope that you have a great end to your 2022, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and may your 2023 bring you a life full of happiness, joy, and abundance. May God continue to bless you. Bye.